Okay.
It's for pastime.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Our little video
Hello.
is for some reason not sharing. So you don't get our little intro. So maybe it's because, oh, hang on. All right. Sorry. Had my other YouTube open. So yeah, if you noticed, we're trying something different. We are doing the vertical streams. We've got amazing people in the basement waiting. So I'm going to rush through some mail call because when we got back from Florida, we had a pretty good stack. So
hey, my money mess.
And Rick got, let me see. Okay, I got to learn the camera setup. Rick got the little floating shells from Zaxxon. He got those in, which is awesome. We got a nice little letter from J. Paul and 4 poker chips, guys. Oops, sorry, Miss Bell. So one's for me, one's for Rick, and we will give away 2 of them later on the channel. We'll try to do that on our Thursday. Bella, quit. The Thursday for our members night. We got an amazing sticker pack from Johnny and Maddie. So we'll, whatever we need, we'll put on our boards and then put the rest into the sticker pack giveaway. Well, there's Miss Charlie Grace in the mix there. Hello, hello. And yes, look, it does say Angie. Congrats, Angie. I won Monardo Rob's race. And it is a 3 pence coin. So it's a from 1943 Denver Mint. I guess that's what the Denver, but it says 3 pence. So that will get put away. And guys, I thank you all so very much. We love getting mail call from everybody. And
hey, Mark.
Oh, okay. And so Rick is like always wanting to run to the post office box.
Hey, J. Paul.
So thank you guys so very. Winter chicken dinner.
Hey,
That's
James
right.
Elder.
But guys, I don't want to. Dover Mint, maybe that's what. Maybe I'm not sure.
Hey, Madison.
There's Zaxxon. Did you see Zaxxon? We got that. The shelves.
Hey, Wendy.
So thank you so much. But guys, I have got a channel up that we've been watching the last couple of weeks.
Unearthed.
That's okay. Okay, yeah. Rick's making sure he's saying hi to everybody. Yeah. So I know I've been watching the last couple of weeks on
Mark
Monday Digs, and the first video I seen of this couple, I said, I want to be like them. So, that's what they tell you, right?
Hey,
if
Danny
you want to be great, hang out with the greats. So
hey, Bill.
So guys, without further ado, the
Zaxxon,
beautiful Miss Wendy, and I'm not gonna brag on you yet, Adam. So,
hey, Tom Kingery.
But let's say hi to Indiana Unearthed.
What's going on, everyone? Howdy, howdy.
Hey, Charlie Grace.
Oh my gosh.
Headed to the creek.
We've got so many people coming in to meet you guys. Oh my goodness. But first of all, Miss Wendy, how are you feeling?
Hey, Georgianne.
Well, today was my first day back to work since January, because that's when my doctor took me off on medical leave. I had my surgery on May 1st, and I'm doing okay. I have good days and bad days, but I can't complain much. It's much better than it was before surgery.
Yeah, you're going to have to take it slow. It's like I told Papa Roush, take care of you first, because without your wonderful smile out there, I mean, don't get me wrong, Adam has a nice smile, but but without your amazing smile, it's not, it's just not the same. And I could tell on this past Monday's dig, was that your first dig back out?
That video was from my first dig, yes.
Yeah, that's one good. Yeah, you could tell it was a little rough on you.
It was.
Girl, we got you back, okay? So don't push it for us. Hey, we got you back.
Thank you.
So, but like I said, I started watching you all on Monday Digs. Now, I will be honest, Rick does not follow the whole Monday Digs lineup, but he will jump in and check out a few channels. And he did jump in and check out your guys's. And so count that as a plus, okay?
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate it.
And being another couple, okay, I like watching your all style so that we can learn more about how to work as a couple on a channel. And so I think it's great to see the family time that you all spend together. And so that is just, to me, that is just amazing. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying hi to everybody in chat, Miss Georgianne, the medical detectors, Danny D, all of you great people. And go over and give Charlie Grace a wrench. Miss Charlie Grace is one of the first channels we started. And she is a van lifer. She goes out on all kinds of different adventures and everything. She is such a fun girl.
I was just telling Wendy that's actually I'm wanting to get a van and just go. Just go explore.
Yeah.
He says it all the time. We'll pass by a van or an RV. He's like, I want it.
I need that.
You need to check out Charlie Grace's channel then, because she's good about giving tips and interviewing people with tips and hints, and she's a really good person to follow. And she's also one of my favorite redheads also. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely check her out.
Yeah.
So Miss Charlie Grace, once he gets you smurfed up here, you can drop your link in chat. I would appreciate that. Darren's Hobbies. Hello. Welcome to the channel. Like I said, guys, Rick is learning to do all this, so bear with us. Johnny's Corner, we just showed off the sticker pack from you guys. Thank you all so much. Now, Adam, you was telling me that you was working on some VA stuff. So you are a veteran. What branch and stuff?
Hey, Johnny Corner.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I spent 12 years in the Indiana National Guard. I just recently separated probably about 7 months ago or so. In between being a guardsman, I also was placed on active duty multiple times. I got activated for different situations and things of that nature that kind of happened throughout the country. And so that's how I was able to get the VA stuff. I was a 19 Delta, so I was a cavalry scout, which is a combat MOS. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed my time, but 12 years of it, just for me personally, it was a lot. I started our channel. I started Indiana Unearthed back in 2019. And in between, I took about a 3-year break. I was dealing with some mental health issues, and I'm not sure if you guys may know or not, Wendy and I were both in recovery for alcoholism. So we you know, we share that in common. But that was another reason I needed to kind of step back, kind of like how you were talking about Wendy taking care of herself, you know, before
Right.
you're able to do anything. That was my case. I got sober, you know, and started the channel, and then I ended up getting back into the drinking, and then I just really needed just to I needed to reset, you know, and as you all may know, being on YouTube and doing YouTube, it's very time consuming. So I just I overwhelmed myself is what ended up happening. So I just needed to just, like I said, just take a step back. But yes, I did serve for 12 years in the Army National Guard.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
like Johnny said here, thank you for your service.
Thank you for the support.
And not just you, but your family, because it's not just one individual serves, it affects the whole family. So
Absolutely.
why I love it when they say we're a military family. You may be the military person, but as a whole, you're a military family. So
Right.
that is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, my mom and dad, I mean, I can't thank them enough. They stepped up so many times, you know, again, not just for my military, but just when I was getting myself right. But there was a lot of times, you know, when I went overseas and on different missions and stuff, that my mom and dad really stepped up over there for my kids.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
So hang on, give me just a second here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely is a military family. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my allergies
Keep
are
it in.
killing me.
It's okay.
So
Completely understand.
Hey, BNSLC.
Beth is in the house. I'm buffering a lot. Catch what I can. That's fine. That's amazing. Darren's Hobby says salute, sir.
Thank you.
And I
I
was
see
going to ask
Lucky-
his mess.
Lucky James
Madison
says that he's a
Hi,
friend of
friend.
Bill W. We get that reference.
Yeah. Hate to go, Angie and Rick.
Great.
Will check guest channel out, but got to get back to work. Yes, sir. I understand
Yep.
that so much. You know, that's another hardworking man. He takes care of his family too. I thought Angie was going to the Geritol break.
Geritol.
No, Angie went to actually get a cinnamon sucker. I'm not crazy about mints or stuff. And so when my throat starts this, I'm addicted to these. I call them the homemade mint cinnamon suckers. I'm addicted to them.
I love cinnamon too.
So, all right, Rick, you want to start off with the questions? We got a list of questions for you guys, but you answer what you want to answer. Talk about what you want to talk about. Okay.
Okay.
When did you start your channel?
So yeah, I started it back in 2019. The reason I started my channel was my mom started a coin collection for me when I was younger. And, you know, there was coins and things that I couldn't afford. So I was like, well, I could just go out and find them, you know? So actually what really kicked off like metal detecting for me wasn't just the coin aspect of it. I've always loved like the Civil War. I used to do Civil War reenacting, and I also watched KG and Ringy growing up, and I love those guys. I love KG. We met him out at the Show Me event, and great guys, but very, very full of energy. But yeah, I started it back in 2019. My very first video, actually, I went out to our family farm, and it's kind of funny to look back on it now because I literally could not compose myself on video because it was the first time I recorded, and I found a cache of 20 50-cent pieces in one hole. My very first video. Look, I'm getting the willies. It still gives me cold chills.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think we might be lucky every now and then to find a penny.
Yeah. Hey,
You
Kenneth
know.
Bird.
But where we detect is like my great grandfather's farm, and I'm not for sure who had it before he did. So a lot of the stuff that we pull up out of there are family memories,
Hey,
family
Stephen
relics,
Starks.
you know.
Right.
And so I was able this year when my uncle came in from Florida to present to him parts of his old cap gun that when he had when he was growing up.
That's
That just
super
tickled him to death, you know. Then of course we
That is
got
really
the stories of him and his brother, you know, playing and all that stuff. So Lucky James Eller, I am proud of you, honey. He says, just got back from a meeting. I'm not afraid to tell people I'm a member of AA. There you go.
That's
And
good.
I am proud of that.
That's
Hello,
awesome.
Kenneth Bird. You know, it's like I don't hide my disabilities and my bipolar and depression and anxieties and the PTSD and all this other crap that goes along with it. And that's what I said. I'm learning that I'm not disabled. I'm differently abled. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
That is, yeah.
And so, like I tell everybody, you know, you be the best you can be. Do it your way because that's what makes you unique anyway. You know.
Absolutely.
So, Dirt Devils in the house. Steven Stark. You guys are amazing. I thank you so much. Now, if somebody else, how do you think somebody else would introduce you? Introduce yourself as if somebody else was going to introduce you.
You want to go first?
I know this sounds like a crazy question, but I'll explain it later.
Okay.
You do me.
You want me
Yeah,
to?
give
I
the
already
But you
know
have
what
to
you're gonna
introduce
say.
yourself.
Oh, he would call me Wendigo.
Here's Wendigo.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't even know for me. Probably like, you know, hey, here's Adam. He's a little bit of a goofball. Can get irritated sometimes, but you'll get used to him.
See, that's great. So like I said, the question might sound strange, but it also gives us an insight to how you see yourself. You know what I'm saying? Miss Denise is in the house. She gifted 5 memberships, guys.
That now Texas.
Miss Julie, Julie Forge, Mama Bird, Pneumastatic,
Steven Stark.
Yep, Steven Stark. That is amazing, guys. Thank you all. Thank you, Miss Denise, for that. Yeah. And guys, we do have memberships starting at 99 cents. And if you'll notice, most of our memberships are related as family, kinfolk, cousins, siblings, you know, because that's what we are. We're all one big family. Like somebody said, maybe a dysfunctional family at times, but we are a family. So what?
I like that. I like that you said that. Because I'm always preaching about how like the detecting community needs to stick together and we shouldn't, you know, ridicule and just be nasty to each other over different stuff. It's just it's uncalled for, you know.
Right, exactly.
You have those people even throughout life. You're gonna have that guy every once in a while, you know. So
yeah, you're gonna have that guy come in every now and then. And face it, like I said, you know, we are a family. And not all families see eye to eye 100% of the time. You know, not all family gets along 100% all the time. I mean, yeah, there are some channels I get mad at, and I'm like, I don't need them. And I find myself going back over, clicking on the channel, you know.
Right.
You know,
like what have they been up to?
Yeah. And I still want to see them succeed. You know,
exactly.
Whatever they're doing, I want to see them succeed. You know, it's like I was talking about the van lifers. That's kind of the genre we started in. And like I said, and seeing Charlie Grace jump in here, I love it. I want to see people succeed and be the best person they can be and enjoy the best life they can. Because after dying from a heart attack, I realized life is too short. And so, yes, Denise is right. It's all
Hey,
about
3 a.m.
lifting
Forge.
each other up.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
and that's what I learned about this community. That's what we do best. This guy right here, whoops, wait a minute. 3 a.m. Forge. He has started me on my love of forging. Hopefully, we'll get this fall. We'll get to pull out the forge. We got it down south. And in a 90-degree heat, I'll be honest with you, this old girl's too fat, too old to even worry about firing up a forge, okay? In this heat.
My brother actually used to do that.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Jason there, 3 a.m. Forge, he made me a metal snail, okay? And it still is in my car. We call him Steve, and he goes everywhere with us. So,
awesome.
you know. So, yeah, that's what I said. I love
I like that Denise had said that about lifting each other up. And I was just going to say that I couldn't agree more, just in the aspect that, like, you know, things are hard enough on people as is anymore, especially with the mental health. And, you know, that kind of reverts back to what you were saying, how like you don't want to keep that in. And I try to explain this to my kids, because my oldest, we call it the pop bottle, like where he bottles up and then he's getting shaken. And then by the time it's too late, then he pops the top and then everything comes out, you know? So yeah, I mean, you just got to be kind to people. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You don't know what people are going through. And, you know, a smile, a hello, a hug, like that could, you know, change somebody's whole aspect, you know, for that day or whatever they're going through. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, because with my bipolar, I went undiagnosed for so long. And actually, my last day at work, I told my boss I had a doctor's appointment the next day. And she's like, "What's wrong with you again?" You know? And I'm like, well, I have a meeting with my therapist. I have social anxiety disorder. She's like, "Oh, no, not you. You're the most social person I know." And that just snapped. Okay. I'm like, "Lady, you see what I want you to see.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't see the struggles I go through daily. You know, I
Mhm.
cry all the way to work. And, you know, and I speed home because I just want to get home and hide. You know, I said, you don't see all that, you know.
Right.
And so that's why I try to tell people. That's why I'm not ashamed to talk about it, because for so many years I thought I was the only one that dealt with that. Yeah.
We
So
can
yeah.
relate for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Are you doing better now, though?
I'm doing a lot better. Like I said, I learned to love myself first. And of course, learning to share everything with Rick, him, though he would know how I'm thinking mentally and how I'm feeling, and quit hiding from it. And
Right.
my depression and anxiety is so severe that they can't medicate me for it.
Oh, wow.
So with therapy and everything, I've had to learn to live in the happy bubble, you know, that I call it.
Right.
And it's not that I don't care about other people, but I can't stress and worry and get, you know, over anxious about their problems, because it is their problems, you know. I deal with what I have to deal with. And thank God Rick is understanding, and he deals with a lot of the stuff. And, you know, that overwhelms me. And when I tell him I'm getting overwhelmed, or I give him that look, get out of my face, he knows that look. And he's like, Okay.
So I take it that this hobby, like, is this your outlet for that? Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is for me as well. Yeah. It gets me out of here and it gets me over here.
Yes, exactly. And if it weren't for this, I would probably be a hermit because I would cry every time I go off my porch. That's how stimulated I'd get and how anxious I would get. So yeah, this makes me get out, makes me do things.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, started doing these interviews that really pushed me outside of my comfort zone. And I don't, I would prefer to be a little wallflower, stuck in the corner somewhere. Hobo Rob is in the house. Hi, honey. So that's what I encourage people to do. Step outside of your comfort zone some. Don't have to live outside of your comfort zone, but step out every time. And every time you step out, you may take one step today. Tomorrow may be 2 steps. So that's what I try to encourage people to get out and live your best life your way.
She's made leaps and bounds. When I told her, I said, hey, I'm going to start my channel back up and I want to get you involved. And I want to help teach you the ropes of metal detecting. And I think it took you 2 weeks probably to be like, okay, I'll go on camera, because she was like completely against being on camera. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to say. I was like, you just got to talk to the camera like you're like talking to a friend or something, so
that's why I'm still really quiet.
Yeah, she still stays pretty quiet, but she's made leaps and bounds.
I know Rick did our 1,000 sub giveaway, and that was like a year after I'd started YouTube. Okay. He's like, it want nothing to do with it, Then he got to kind of hearing some people talk, and he started getting, and then I'd say, won't you go live with me? I ain't getting on that camera. So now he's learning to be an administrator. He's the one that runs the numbers. He's the one checks all that stuff, and just and he's actually learning to edit.
Hey.
We haven't made it that far with Wendy yet, but she's our bookie.
Oh, yeah. Rick has learned when I say let's go, he don't even ask where or why. It's like I got to get out. So
yeah, I completely understand that. That's for sure.
Yeah. But what has been your favorite find, other than the great coin spill you found the first day out?
Right. My favorite find, I'm gonna have to say, I found a Civil War belt buckle, and being like, I don't know, that's a toss up, because the Civil War belt buckle, and I'm in the 1700s club, so it's like probably would be the Civil War item. Absolutely. And my first, I found a 2-ringer as well, down in Kentucky. So anything Civil War. And do you care if I put something out? Do you care if I put something out to your chat real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. Ahead. Everyone, if you don't know who I am, I'm Indiana Combs with Indiana Unearthed, and I love the Civil War. If you guys have any cool properties you would love to share with me, if you couldn't tell the Civil War stuff, please, it would be an honor to come out and detect with you.
You just told on yourself, right?
Why is that?
You haven't seen many of our videos, have you?
I've seen a few. I've seen some of the. Well, I know that you guys are in Virginia, right? West Virginia.
We're in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I go south. I take my mom south in the winter. Me and my son does. And we are actually members of the 47th New Yorkers, Civil War reenactment group.
I was with the 49th Indiana. I don't know if you know. And I've been with the Liberty Rifles as well.
Oh, that's amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
my son's into history and stuff. And yeah, Rick's
King's
probably
Gold.
going, he's not much into that, but my son is really into it. So he enlisted, and then I got conscribed, and then I was made the second lieutenant, and head of the I gotta say it slower, I'll not get it straight. The brain went pshing. Sanitary Commission.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, do you know what the Sanitary Commission is?
That was like the cleanup for like the bathrooms and stuff, right? No?
No, sir. No, you know what the
Well,
Red
then
Cross is?
The what? The Red Cross?
The Red Cross. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who started the Red Cross? Clara Bartram, right? She was actually a member of the Sanitary Commission. That is what the Sanitary Commission did. They had what they called sanitary rallies, and they would gather up stuff, and mostly women, because the men were fighting. They would get on horse and buggy and take it out into the fields to the guys.
Wow.
You know, so yeah, Angie went blank for a second. And that's what one of the biggest stories. Yeah. If you notice, Clara Barton in her early years, her dress had a hole in the sleeve. She was actually out on the battlefield tending to a fallen soldier. And she turned around to get him a drink of water, and she heard a shot ring out. Well, she turned around and the guy was dead. The bullet went through her sleeve.
Hey, Willie,
she never mended that.
Wow.
Because that was a reminder of how close she is to the war and how important these men were to her.
See, so, I love learning stuff like that, you know, and we just, I think it was a documentary that we had just watched about the Civil War. That's where ambulances come from, because the way, and triage, the way that they treat triage and how we have ambulances today, because they were running horse and buggies out onto the battlefield and bringing the soldiers and the wounded back to the medical tents. And then they started the triage and all that. And I was like, I didn't even know that. And I love
that's what the Sanitary Commission did. In one of our videos, which I didn't film because I was on the field, down in Florida, my first event ever, he says, I want you to be an ice angel. Okay, this is my first event ever. What the heck is an ice angel? He said, well, you're like a nurse with a bucket of water. And so while this commotion's going on out there, a soldier would fall down, and when the area was clear, I was to run in and give him water, help triage him, get the, holler for the surgeons or the doctors, get him back off the field, get him to our. So we worked, the Sanitary Commission worked hand in hand with the doctors.
Right.
And that's why the nurses, usually up until then, everything was male. That's when nursing started becoming a female organization, because all the males were at war.
Right.
And at that point in time, they seen how important these women were, and the military started giving them ranks and pay as those ranks. Even though I would be a civilian, okay, I was a second lieutenant, and I actually got a pay for doing those jobs.
That's really cool.
And that's like, it was all horse and buggy, and they would prep the guys, and we would ride them out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you've got to get with my son too. Now he knows the military side of everything. Now, but I know I'm going off and on. on a
I got a
container.
bunch of new books back here, and I don't even think I've opened them yet.
I read a little bit of one of them.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
need to dive in more.
He's so
Yeah,
busy
but
doing
once,
everything
like,
else.
yeah.
We
But
don't
like I
take
said, though,
time
once
just
you
for
see
him.
history in action, that is when you really start to learn. And as part of my role is we get to teach that to people, you know.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool. Like the living
Yeah.
history side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were down in St. Augustine at the big fort down there, San Di Callisto, whatever. We call it Fort Turtle because it looks like a turtle. And that's what we had. The surgeons were set up with their medical supply and stuff. And then I actually had a table set up where I had fruits and vegetables and socks and hats, stuff that would have been donated, you know. And so
Right.
I got to teach that side of everything. And, you know, you would have nurses that came in and did not realize that's where nursing started. You know, I
That
mean,
is
you know,
really
that's where. So yeah, it's great. It's really is great. So okay, Rick, you better take over. We're going to run this show right into the Civil War.
If you could do something over in life, what would it be?
If I could do something over in life, what would it be? Hands down, I would never have picked up the first alcoholic drink ever in my life. I would have never put it to my lips. Hands down. And you know, going back to that, alcohol has caused so many setbacks in my life that I absolutely despise it that much that I wish that I could literally go back in time and absolutely just erase it.
Yeah. Yeah, you think of that Castillo de San Marcos. Yes, that's it. That's the name of the fort. Thank you, Dirt Devil. But you know, from the air, it does look like a turtle. You know, so that's what my son always called it growing up. You know,
The turtle.
yeah.
Yeah, I think James Elder said he got his 8-month
badge today.
Oh, nice.
Coin today.
Congrats.
coin today.
Yep. That's
Nice.
awesome.
That's great.
I think you have 2.5 years.
I'm actually almost, let's see,
She's almost
3 years and 3 months.
Yeah, 3 years and
Hey,
3
Elder.
months, and I got
Hey,
14
Lacey.
months.
Lacey's here. Hey, you want to wake up and say hi to Lacey? She's like, no, sorry, Lacey. She's sleeping. Oh, hi, Ellsworth. I'm looking through some of the questions, and we've gone through some of these because, like I said, I've known these questions for a
Right.
while, so we end up talking about them anyway. What has been your favorite hunt?
My favorite hunt. My favorite hunt would probably
Happy birthday, Ellsworth.
any of my group hunts. I love having other people with me. Like, even if I'm not, because I jump around so much, like when I have so many people like with me, and I just like showing like their finds and their excitement. Like, so probably one of our videos, it's the Ground Zero group hunt. That was probably one of my favorite hunts for sure.
Congrats, Hobo Rob. 49 days from being 9 years sober.
Nice.
Wow.
Congrats.
That is awesome. I was fortunate though, and I realized early that I was leaning toward a bottle more than I should.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was able to self-correct and stuff. So yeah, I'm just glad I didn't go down that road. So I can little bit of what you all went through. So yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a funny story that your family or your friends like to tell about you?
You want to go first on that?
Okay. I don't know which one to say. Okay.
I can go first.
Lacey's
Yeah,
telling
I
me.
can go.
Okay, all right. So, just a funny story. So when I was probably 5 or 6, and I still remember this like pretty vividly. It's kind of nasty, but it is funny at the same time. Like if you knew my uncle, it would make it more funny. But so we were at a restaurant, and my uncle and mom were talking back and forth, and I'm under the table doing, whatever, hanging out underneath the table. Well, I look up and I see all this gum on the bottom of this table. So I get curious because I'm like, what is this? So I start picking at it. So I'm like picking at all this gum under the table, and I start rolling it up. Well, I start handing it up to my uncle as he's talking. So he's not paying attention. So I pop up and I say, hey, Uncle Rob, do you like that gum? And he goes, yeah, buddy, that's some really good gum. Where did you get that? And I said, it's under the table. There's all kinds. And he started
asking Fast and Adventures.
He started getting so sick. And still to this day, I mean, my family still talk about that. I mean, it was that and I remember it. Like I remember it. So
Oh gosh, that's a good one.
I can't top that.
Come on. The ladies don't tell on themselves anyway, right, Wendy?
No, we don't.
all right.
I've never done anything goofy in my whole life.
Oh,
It's daily.
straight up
It's daily for me.
I'm just a space
I like
head.
you,
Like
Sassy.
that's probably what people would say about me is I'm just spacey. Like I don't know. Like I should have been naturally blonde, but
Wendy's very, very, very book smart. She's very book smart. Street smarts, she laughs.
Well, girl, we would make a good team because I'm not that great at book smarts, but now street smarts, hey, But yeah, I walked around all day. Rick, yeah, Rick kept saying, "Are you okay? You're awful quiet." But he's learned that he gets scared when I get too quiet.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, but I've got 101 things running through my mind about: did I get this done? Did I get that done? Did I get my goals up? Which yes, I'm running my chat goals, but so I'm just being quiet. And then I'm like, okay, I got to take a break. So I went and started working on my wind chime. Matter of fact, Rick, can you get it for me behind you? I came up with an ideal. I thought, how am I going to get rid of all these blank CDs?
I didn't do it.
It fell out of the thing. I've lost one already. Bella grabbed one. So what I did is I went and I painted them. I painted stuff on the one side. And then so that, like I said, Bella ripped one off. I got to tie it back. But where they're shiny on the back, they'll catch the sun. So
that's really neat.
That is.
That is really cool.
So that's
Super
what
creative.
I do. Welcome to being bipolar, honey. That's what everybody says. Last thing you need is another hobby, but it's another outlet. It's a way, because when I concentrate on stuff like this, then I can block everything else out, But
see, and we had her, we had planned, and she saw we haven't. I don't think she's got like buckets full of like glass that we found while we've been out in fields and stuff, metal detecting. Our plan was she was going to start making like earrings and necklaces out of the glass, like obviously smooth it down. And I haven't got there yet.
Nope, not even close. Still collecting stuff for it, but it's just getting set to the side.
And I even thought about, maybe making a couple of those and give them away on chat sometime if it'd be something somebody was interested in, or just because, like I said, it's more of a therapy thing for me.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did today. I went back, just cleared my head, and just painted. And, so yeah.
It's really cool. That turned out awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Ricky, you staring at your things over
there? If you could have one superpower, what would it be and how would you use it?
I have one superpower. What would it be and what would I use it? This is going to fall back into metal detecting related, but I literally wish I could see what my target was under the ground before I dug it. So I could be like, no, that's a can. I got to stay away from that. Or that's like a giant piece of iron, and I don't want that.
Yep, J. Paul. Yep. Beth loves the chimes. Ellsworth says he'll send the girls down. We'll always be busy. Oh yeah. So if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Ireland.
Ireland for you? We literally just talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt in my mind, I would live in Harper's Ferry.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely I've been out there twice, and like I've never been able to like get out and like check it out. And I told her it's so like beautiful. Like it's so beautiful. I'm sure you guys have been there. But
actually no, we haven't, but we talked about it. That was one of the things that was on our list that we wanted to do this summer. But with him, with his knees like they are, he can't do a lot of walking. So, but we can always take the buggy, and we can walk around and tour the little towns and stuff. And my son's wanting to go because, for one, it is very rich in Civil War history and paranormal history. So
yeah, see, if you couldn't tell, we like the spooky stuff too.
Oh yes. Oh yes. When we go back down, we're wanting to, me and my son's wanting to go redo a ghost tour at a couple of places there in St. Augustine. And I love that. St. Augustine is like one of my favorite places.
It's so old.
And then like Shane and them just went to Waverly Hills.
We were supposed to have went with Shane, and we weren't able to make it. But we actually run another YouTube channel as well. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this. But what we do is we haven't integrated any ghost hunting yet, but we do like haunted theme parks and haunted houses during the fall time. So we do walkthroughs for that. So if you guys want to see some funny videos, it's Ghouls and Thrills TV.
Type it out so people know how to spell it.
Yeah, I could type that out for you guys.
Somebody drop that link in there for us, because then you would love to come down here and do the Shawnee Amusement Park. Have you heard of that one down here in West Virginia? Oh, I'm trying to get a hold of that, people. It was back in like the 60s and stuff. And yeah, it's another amazing place. AU Diver Greg, hello. King's Gold, Ron E. All of you guys are amazing. So thankful you're all here. And so yeah, I could so get into more paranormal hunts. Rick is like, you go ahead, I stay here. But
Yeah, we have a blast doing the haunted houses, and like I said on the channel, we did a really intense haunted house last year, and it's actually the closest one to us. It's new. It's actually on an old Cold War missile base right outside of a college town that's right down the road from us, and it is very hands-on and it's really extreme. But you guys can go check that out and go watch that video because it's hilarious.
I'll have to watch it. Now, see, I can't do the shock and scare because of my PTSD.
Right.
You know, when you get that fight or flight, I don't think flight first.
You're a fighter.
Oh, I'm more like to throw a punch and then see what happened, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I've learned to stay away from stuff like that, you know? Even Rick has learned when he wakes me up, he does it from a distance. Like, honey.
She learned that a couple weeks ago.
I've known that for a while now, but yeah. No, it was at whenever I accidentally like hit and kicked, like I like flopped over and I hit him in my sleep on accident, and he wasn't having it. he's a grump sometimes when he's tired or when he gets like woken up.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah. I mean,
That's why Rick is so
that's
quiet.
stuff like that's what makes life such an adventure.
Like Tom said, that's why Rick's so quiet.
That's why Rick's so quiet. Yeah. That's why I said I like about our family adventures. You know, even though like on the backs of our shirts and stuff, it says adventures await, get out, find yours, and make your memories. And that's one thing I like about us being a family channel, because you never know what adventure is going to be on the next, you know, right around the corner. You know? Right.
Yeah.
And
that's why we try to push our kids out more to do it, but they're at the age right now like where YouTube is cool and like it's cool what you guys are doing, but like what you're doing isn't cool for us to do.
Yeah.
So it's like
yeah,
it's hit and miss, you know. Like some days they get a wild hair and they're like, all right, let's go out. Yeah. But for the most part,
that's how I got into the Civil War stuff, because my son usually runs the camera and stuff and helps me. And so I thought, well, okay, I'll take him to this reenactment. And of course, when they come riding out there on the horses and the cannons are going off and all of that stuff, I was like, I'm hooked, you know?
Yeah.
What's on your bucket list this year?
Okay, so hang on, a little more specific, like as a find or as like a hunt or a location or
probably
just whatever. What's on your bucket list?
Any and all the above.
Yeah.
My bucket list. I already obtained permission for a Civil War skirmish field. And I already went down there and checked it out. And then I don't know if you guys maybe have seen the bottle video of my son crawling underneath of the barn and finding bottles. It was a short that I had made. But anyways.
It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. I won't say yes. I won't say no.
Yeah. So that one it's the same farm that owns it. Not only does this guy own this skirmish field that we already have permission for, but he owns another farm field where another skirmish took place. So I want to get back down there so bad. And not only there, but I really want to get out with Miss Alicia from Hot Mess Fishing and Gypsy Jules. We were invited also to go out with her. So those are definitely on my bucket list for this year.
That's amazing.
I would say all the above, what he said, and then I want to do like a haunted hunt.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, it'd be great if we could get like Shawnee Amusement Park to allow us also to go in there and metal detect as we're, you know, so, you know, metal detect on haunted grounds. Yeah.
Yeah, we get some t-shirts made for that. Spooky swing. We'll have like
Spooky
little ghosts
time.
out there metal detecting.
Oh, I can see the thumbnails now.
Hey, but what is cool about that is, speaking of spooky and swinging at the same time, it's not really spooky. It could be, but it might be. We got invited to actually metal detect a cold case to find evidence. This cold case has been cold for 35 years, and we were invited out to help locate some evidence that actually might bring closure if we can locate the right stuff.
Hey,
So,
Torchy.
As if I put you in a room.
Rick, did Angie put you in a room? Yep, for me, by myself.
Yeah, those would be, that would be so awesome. Matter of fact, one of the channels I've got coming up, they do something along that lines, but it's within the water. They do like dive and recovery of vehicles, looking for lost.
Husby.
So their name is Chaos Divers.
I actually think I've seen them. I really think I have seen that channel.
Yeah, my friend
Angie put Rick in a
Lindsay,
timeout room.
She came on board, started helping him, and the guy with the beard and the blonde, I call her the blonde, and they actually, I think they're in Chicago right now, maybe, but they go all over looking for lost loved ones and trying to give the family closure. Yeah. So they will be on, I think in a couple of weeks. I think next week is We Dig It, Gene.
Oh, nice.
From the We Dig It channel will be up. So, yeah, like I said, you want to be great, you hang out with the greats. There you go. So, that's why I'm so honored you guys are here.
Well, we appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it.
I got one last question for you. Let me see. Where can viewers learn and watch more of you? You have the Indiana Unearthed, and then you said you've got the other one.
Yeah. So we have Indiana Unearthed, and then we have Ghouls and Thrills TV, and that's like where we do like the reviews on the haunted houses and stuff. Along with that, we have our TikTok page for Indiana Unearthed. We also have our Indiana Unearthed group, which it says Indiana Unearthed, so a lot of people think it's just for Indiana. But we literally invite anyone and everyone. It doesn't matter where you're from. You know, as long as you're not spam posting, like we don't mind if you share your YouTube links, your finds, like whatever, as long as it's some sort of treasure recovery, including gold panning, magnet fishing, arrowheads, like more than welcome. If you have any questions or need help, you can definitely go on there. And then we also have our Indiana Unearthed page, and we post most of our upcoming events and things. Just like this coming weekend, we're actually doing a 4th of July festival in our local hometown. So like we've been posting updates about that. We have the Indiana Silver Shootout coming up, so we'll be attending that. We were invited back out again for next year's Show Me Treasure Hunting event in Greenville, Missouri. New location. So if there's anybody in the chat that went last year and you haven't seen on the Show Me page, there's a new location for that. So yeah, we try to really keep everybody in the loop. We just opened our new merch store as well. So that's at the top of our page on Indiana Unearthed, and also on our page on Facebook.
Right. And I do have Indiana Unearthed pinned at the top of the chat. So guys, if y'all have not checked out Adam and Wendy, I'm telling you what, not only are they good humans, they're fun people, you know, and I love watching them. And so guys, I'm going to jump over and get Papa Roush. We're going to raid Papa Roush's channel here. which I gotta find his channel real quick. Rick, you got one last question?
Let me look.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where do I see myself in 5 years? Well,
sorry.
hopefully we're grown. Here's the thing with our channel. We started up 6 months ago. When I left the channel, I was sitting at 462 subscribers. Since then, we're pushing 1,800 already in 6 months. So my goal in 5 years, where I would like to see myself sitting, and I just did get my welding certification, so I just went to school for welding. But I would like this my YouTube channel to really become like what's the best word, like self-sufficient off of the channel, like that's where I like to see. Yeah, which I know, like, that's kind of setting, you know, like really high expectations, but I believe wholeheartedly if we continue at what we're doing and the history that we're recovering around our area, I mean, you guys got to go check out the channel. And this past Monday Digs, it was an older video that we shot a couple weeks ago, but we found some awesome history again. So,
have you seen the channel Grandma Kelly? Are you familiar with Grandma Kelly? Okay. Yeah. She said it in her mind that this is what she wanted to do, and she is over oh God, her subscriber count 200,000. She is like soaring, but you know, like you said, it's work, but she is really good to give you tips and hints and suggestions, and it tell you what worked for her. She don't tell you how to do your channels and stuff, but she'll let you know what works for her. And so that's another, I've learned a lot from her. Matter of fact, that's one reason we're doing the verticals, because I'm going to try those for a while because they do well for her. So I'm going to try and see if they work out for us. Because I want to be able
219K.
219,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that would be nice.
Yeah. You know, like I tell everybody, I like for mine to kind of subsidize my disability. And then when he retires, you know, that we can afford to get out and do the adventures and stuff, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's what I said, you know, I don't expect, you know, I would love to get rich off of it. But like you said, if we can get the channel self-sustaining to where we can afford to go to the different hunts, we can afford to drive out to Missouri this weekend and then, you know, to Connecticut another weekend, you know.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. One of the biggest takeaways that I got from a YouTuber, like a big known YouTuber, it was Gypsy Jules is who because we went out to eat with her and Alicia hot bass fishing after the Show Me event. It was the last day. We got caught in a hailstorm, but that's beside the point. One of her key points, and it's probably been the most help for me, is you have to give your audience a face to relate to, if that makes sense. Like you got to put yourself out there. You got to do the events. You got to take the opportunities, just like you're live. You know, I'm sure you're going to have viewers on here that didn't even know who Indiana Unearthed was. Like that, you have to get your face out there. You got to get the name and the brand, and that's one of the biggest takeaways that I've gotten, and it's really helped.
That's why I encourage people to do this, because it gives us an insight to the creator behind the channel. Now we feel, hopefully people feel, I know I would feel, I feel more invested in you, the person. So yeah, I am really anxious now to see the next video and the next video. Let's see where Adam and Wendy are going to take us. this time, you know? And
Right.
so that's why I like people get invested in the person. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think that I hope that helps out. You know.
Well, we definitely appreciate it. And we want to thank you again so much for this opportunity and coming on here tonight. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smash the like, guys. Hit the like, hit the thumbs up for Angie and Rick.
And we can officially call you family now because you have sat around and just chatted with us around our kitchen table. But yeah,
I'm in my bedroom.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry, but I'm in the bedroom. But I'll also take some of this stuff and I'll clip shorts, so that helps get your name out too. And you know, I try to do my best to help you all because I love to see my friends succeed. You know, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And we shared out your guys' thumbnail for this as well on our page and our group. And then we shared it out among other groups as well. So do you guys actually, I was going to ask you before we, or I don't know if you're getting ready to end it or not, but do you guys have another platform as far as like Facebook?
I do have, I have my personal Facebook, but then I've also started up an Angie and Rick family adventures Facebook.
We will get that shared out for you.
Yeah, either one of them is fine with me because, like I said, honey, we're just down home little country folk that, you know, like I said, I'm teaching him now what I know, what little I know about how to do this stuff, you know. So, you know, but so yeah, and I appreciate you sharing this out because I don't see our abilities to detect is nothing like your all's.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're here, you're all way up here.
You're more than welcome to come to the Hoosier State. We're literally like, I could throw a rock and hit Ohio as well. So like we're right here in the tri-state area. Kentucky's not that far, Ohio and Indiana.
They're in Indiana.
They're in Indiana.
Where's Susan and them? I'd have to look up my address. I was thinking Batesville, but it's not Batesville. Because we just went up and spent a week with our friends, Susan and Jim, New Horizons, here on YouTube. We just went and spent a week up there with them. We car camp. So, you know, they're an RV family, you know, RVers. But that's where their home base is. And so we went up there and spent a week with them.
Do you know what campground it was by chance?
That one was actually on their property. But I know they were at Batesville. They're at Batesville. This weekend. And then they're going on over, I think,
they're going to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Hey, Angie. Batesville, Indiana is 20 minutes from us. And we have a campground right here in our town. We have a big state park campground right here and a lake.
It's called 1,000.
Oh, they're part of the 1,000 Trails.
1,000 Trails campground.
Because I know when we were up there at Susan's and them, we ran over and saw Diane Phoenix over in Ohio or Kentucky. I mean, it's like right in that area, you know. And so, yeah, we were probably next door. I can't even think of the little town we drove through and did videos of, you know. But of course, it's all on our channel.
We'll go check that out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely going to have to check you all out and get up there and meet you guys. And Miss Wendy, you got a big old hug coming to you, girl. I tell you.
Yeah. I can't wait.
And maybe Adam too. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, we thank you all for being up here with us. Guys in the chat, oh my God, you guys are amazing. And I thank each and every one of you all. You don't know, and I say it every week, you all do not know how important you all are to us. And we love opening our home to you all like this and love seeing you guys come in and sit down and spend time with this crazy little bunch. You know, so But anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off of here. I'm well over my time frame. But if you get a chance, go over and give Papa Roush a holler. Tell him Crazy Train's on its way. We'll be there soon.
Yeah.
And we'll talk
Thanks
to
for
y'all
having
later.
us.
Thank you again for having us, and everybody have a great night and happy hunting to y'all.
That's
Yep.
right. May your next find be as awesome as you are.
Yep.
So,
That's awesome. I like that.
so let me end